Eo, I nā kupuna, nā au mākua, nā akua, kia kua mauloa ki e. He pule I e holoi ana I ka pō no ka aina me ka palea I pauko ka aina heu. He pule I e ho o pau ana ina he vo ka aina pau. I pau kea I me ka wau, I pau ki kulupia me ka peliluka, I pau ka hule alana, halai la ni hope ho emu. Hui kala malapa kai ka mauli hoi ke aku.
Aloha mai Kaho. Mahalo for attending today. My name is Davis Price. I'm one of the many organizers of the statement that we're going to issue and today's press conference. I would first like to acknowledge our kupuna that have come before us and have laid the foundation for us to thrive on this aina. The organizations that have signed on to this statement are a network of Native Hawaiian community-based organizations that have assembled to assert our collective voices, to call for Native Hawaiian representation in critical decisions that will be made on expiring military land leases in Hawaii. Speakers today represent a cross-section of academia, small business, and grassroots Hawaiian cultural practice. The signatories on the statement that will be shared represent an even broader swath of our Native Hawaiian community. The speakers will address the scale of military landholdings, the ongoing harms and impacts of militarization in Hawaii, the need for cleanup, accountability, restitution, and the return of lands to Native Hawaiian stewardship. We have convened this press conference on September 2nd, the birthday of Queen ʻIolani, with intention, as her life and legacy continues to serve as a reminder of the deep aloha for this land and ʻonipa'a, steadfast determination to elevate the people of this aina. I will now call up our first speaker, Dean of Hawaii Nui Akea School of Hawaiian Knowledge at UH Manoa, John Osorio.
As a network of Native Hawaiian organizations committed to the protection of our aina, our culture, communities, and people, we stand united in calling on the United States and on the State of Hawaiʻi to uphold its legal and moral responsibilities by ensuring Native Hawaiian community representation in all decision-making related to expiring U.S. military leases across the Hawaiian Islands. In recent weeks, U.S. Secretary of the Army Daniel Driscoll visited Governor Josh Green, calling for a more aggressive timeline for the negotiations over Pohakuloa and fast-tracking new land agreements or frameworks for Pohakuloa and other leases expiring in 2029-2030. And all of this would be a serious misstep for the state of Hawaii. The U.S. military land holdings in Hawaii total nearly 222,000 acres, including over 91,980 acres of Hawaiian Kingdom lands. These are Crown and government lands that were taken by the U.S. between 1917 and 1964 from the territory of Hawaii and the state of Hawaii and handed over to the U.S. military. Over 5,258 acres were actually taken from private lands, from the trusts of Queen Emma and Kealiʻi by the U.S. military. 39,000 acres of state-leased public lands for the Army, Navy, and Air Force military training activities at Pohakuloa, Kahuku Training Area, Makua, and Po'amoho, Kawailoa training areas, as well as the Pacific Missile Range on Kauai, and at various other locations throughout the islands. These are Hawaiian national lands and sacred ancestral lands, which are currently entrusted to the state for the benefit of present and future generations. As stated in Public Law 103-150, the Hawaiian people never directly relinquished our claims to sovereignty as a people or over our national lands to the United States or in any other entity, either through our monarchy or through a plebiscite or referendum. We emphasize that these are our lands, and these are our claims, and therefore, no state actor should make unilateral determinations on the best course of action for the benefit of Native Hawaiians with regard to these lease negotiations. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Next, we have small business owner and long-standing leader in the Protect Kaho Olawe Ohana, member of Navahine Apapalani, and Nakia'i o Pohakuloa, Luana Busby.
Aloha mai, I ke aloha aina. We started with a pule, and actually an ancient pule talks about how to restore failing crops. In actuality, it is a pule that talks about he pule I holoi ana I ka pō ino o ka aina, a me ka palea I pau ko ka aina haumia. He pule I ho'o pau ana I nā hewa o ka aina a pau. I pau ke ae me ke kawau, I pau ke kulopia a me ka pele luka, I pau ka hule alana, a laila ni ho peku, ho e hui kala, malapo kai, ka mauli ho e nā kuai. To restore our lands, to clear away the rot, the decay, the disease, the plague, to holoi ana, the things that had contaminated and intoxicated a land base and a people. It speaks in ways that speaks to us as entire communities, not just Kanaka Maoli, but all of Hawaii, actually all of the world. And we decided to open with that because this is what we are asking now of the United States military. To clear, they have a responsibility and an accountability to the people of Hawaii to clear the lands that have been polluted. Pohakuloa, over 70 years of bombardment, live ordnance till this day. It is the largest, widest, deepest, most pristine freshwater aquifer in Hawaii, Hawaii Island. We float on that freshwater aquifer. It is mantle waters, and it is the largest freshwater aquifer in the Pacific Basin. The fact that we've been bombing for 70 years is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Much like Pu'ukaki, Red Hill, the contaminations that were there, that came in through the fuels. Much like Makua Valley, the ongoing bombardment there. For what? For arms. We're supporting a multi-billion-dollar business that supports weapons of mass destruction on our lands. The practice is our lands. This is target lands. And we're asking for Wapau. The lease is up. We have 3 more years. It is time for them, Ike Ia Manawa, to start restoring those lands. We need to clean up the depleted uranium. We need to clean up the top posts of Pohakuloa and all of our military installations, and we need more accountability. I had a pinpoint of things to talk about, who's being impacted, how we be impacted, on cultural sites, Vahipana, that we are all a part of, our family lineages can claim connectivity to those spaces. Our kupuna are here with us now. We have iwi kupunas that are coming up in mass everywhere, really telling us the sign of this time. It is a portal moment. Is it a pivotal moment? It is now. We are at the crux of a makahiki season. It starts next month in October, where the restorative healing rains of Lono come. But right now we are in a time of ku. And the time of ku is to be upright, to take initiative, to be fearless, to be pono, and to stand in, when you stand and you in absolute victory. Imua me kalana kila, with clarity, with integrity, with respect, with focus. Oia ho'i, oia vale no, I ke aloha aina no ho'i. Mahalo. Wait. I'm sorry. One last thing. We need to end with this because protect Kaho olawe Ohana, a beloved mentor, friend of our family, Dr. Emmett Aluli, who has led the movement for the Ohana for nearly 50 years, had a quote. E malama no nokaaina, e malama ya oe. You take care of the land, and the land indeed takes care of you. And with that spirit, we holomua. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Auntie Luana. Next, we have Principal of Kauaihona Okana'uau, Native Hawaiian Focused Public Charter School, and Cultural Practitioner of Hawaiian Tattooing, Kalihua Group.
Aloha mai. Given the conditions that have been expressed prior, we call on Governor Josh Green, the Board of Land and Natural Resources, the Department of Land and Natural Resources, to take the following steps. First, include Native Hawaiian community representation in all decision making. As a people recognized by the United States as having never relinquished our claims to sovereignty or our national lands, and as named beneficiaries of the public land trust under the Hawaii Constitution, Native Hawaiians must have representation in decision making and in all ongoing discussions concerning lands to which we hold national, ancestral, and spiritual ties, especially Native Hawaiian community organizations and individuals who have fought for the care and return of these lands for many years. Secondly, vigorously pursue the cleanup and return of all leased lands to the military. The state must enter negotiations with the explicit aim of significantly reducing the military's geographic footprint and impact in Hawaii, securing the prompt return of land to Native Hawaiian community stewardship for cultural, conservational, agricultural, and housing uses. The reduction must go well beyond Makua Valley, which the Army already relinquished use of over 20 years ago. We strongly oppose any attempts to expand the military's control over any Hawaiian lands. Thirdly, center accountability, oversight, and restitution. Negotiations must seek bold compensation and/or restitution for the military's past egregious breaches in lease terms and for the historic and ongoing impacts of militarization and occupation. Fourthly, follow the law and all legal processes. All proposed land agreements must undergo rigorous environmental, cultural, and legal review in compliance with the State of Hawaii Constitution, Hawaii Revised Statutes, National Environmental Policy Act, Hawaii Environmental Policy Act, and the National Historic Preservation Act, along with all and any applicable laws. And lastly, number 5, commit to transparency and consent. Principles of free, prior, and informed consent are critical to future discussions. This requires a transparent, inclusive process that engages impacted communities directly, allows sufficient time for deliberation, and ensures full public access to all relevant information, not token consultation or selective outreach to pre-approved representatives. No agreements should proceed otherwise.
Mahalo, Kalihua, and our last speaker, she is a member of Nakiai Opohakuloa, Nawahine Apapalani, and former president of Hui Aloha Aina o Hilo, Leilani Lindsay.
This is a time of consequence. This is a moment of consequence. The decisions made over the next few years or over the next few months will shape the future of our lands for generations. As organizations rooted in kuleana, in aloha aina, justice, and ea, we urge the state of Hawaii to resist pressure from the U.S. military to act in haste, but rather to uphold our values that are aligned with ancestral kuleana, to steward these lands and govern with pono, the people of Hawaii, on behalf of past, present, and future generations. We say to Governor Green, do not bypass the people or the laws that protect our land, the laws you swore an oath to uphold. Do not negotiate away our lands and our future. We stand ready to engage and protect our lands and our community in a respectful, inclusive, solutions-oriented process rooted in aloha aina that honors the values of our shared kuleana to protect by peaceful and pono means the life of our land, our sacred waters, and our lahui.
Mahalo nui for coming out. I would like to mahalo everyone who attended today, media and community members. The speakers today shared sentiments of our community who are determined to address injustices that go back 150 years. What the military leadership and state leaders must try to understand is that the legacy of militarism in Hawaii is synonymous with injustice, struggle, and resistance. The legacy of harms against our aina, such as the bombing and destruction of olawe, the eviction of Hawaiians from and the desecration of Makua Valley, the ongoing bombing of Pohakuloa, and the poisoning of one of our main aquifers on our most populated islands, the Red Hill disaster. And this is just to name a few. The list can go on and on. This is the legacy of the military in Hawaii. But our legacy has been to meet those environmental and humanitarian disasters with peaceful, non-violent resistance, grounded in kapu aloha. And each time those moments of struggle, those movements have made our community, our lahui, stronger. These leases will be no different. The injustice of $1 leases must be rectified. There is deep-seated misalignment and imbalance when the lessee, the tenant, controls the landlord. There is a deep shift in values needed when we continue to hear the common refrain that this land is the most valuable land on earth, whether it be for astronomy on Mauna Kea or for national security. Yet, when we question why they only pay $1 for land they claim is invaluable, aina, that is priceless to us, we are brushed aside. This injustice is only allowable under a system of governance that has no respect for the people or the aina. How else could they continue to destroy our resources? Today marks a shift that must occur. Gathered here are multi-generational pillars of our community and legacy organizations that stand for pono for all of Hawaii, and building on their legacy of struggle and resistance and victory, we are calling attention to injustice that affects every single person in Hawaii. Today, Kupuna, Makua, and Opio, elders to the youth, have gathered to assert our voice in calling on decision makers at all levels to realign, to establish new rules of engagement with the U.S. military, where the people of Hawaii and the aina and the wai, the land and water, are treated with respect and dignity. Let me say that again. The land and water must be treated with respect and dignity. That is a baseline that currently does not exist, and we are here to demand it. This is an issue that affects every single person in Hawaii, and we all must engage. We'll close, mahalo nui. I'd like to close with a quote from Queen Liliuokalani on her birthday. You must never cease to act because you fear you may fail. E oni pa'a Kaho. And today we close with Kapihe's prophecy. E iho ana o luna e pi'i ana o lalo e hui ana nā motu e kua kapaya. E iho ana o luna e pi'i ana o lalo e hui ana nā motu e kua kapaya. E iho ana o luna e pi'i ana o lalo e hui ana nā motu e kua kapaya. Aloha aina. Aloha aina. Aloha aina. Aloha aina. Aloha aina. Aloha aina. Eo. Eo. Mahalo.